Greetings and good evening. We like to acknowledge and give thanks to Yahuwah, the Elohim, our Elohim, the creator of all. He and he alone decides who he shall have mercy upon and who he shall not. I am Rashia Lynn Harmon'El, the JC of Waliyamesi Indigenous Native American Association of Nations, Aboriginal Tribal Corp. And this is my mother. Her name is Harmon'El, and she is an elder of the tribunal. We are here to present the facts and to discuss the events that occurred on October 6, 2021 at 9 o'clock in the morning. So to begin, I will ask you a series of questions and then you can just tell your story as you see fit. But to begin, in your own words, can you tell us what happened on October 6, 2021 at 9 o'clock in the morning?
It was a very horrific event that day. Unbelievable what the city of Philadelphia, the state, the government, or whoever sent these, I don't even want to describe them as being humans or people. It was the sheriff's department, the Philadelphia police. They had helicopters. They came armed with guns, shields. They came upon us as if we were drug lords in order to take out and kill us, because they came and they was like, any means necessary, we're coming in to take all of you down, including my mother, who is an 86-year-old elder.
So what do you mean, like, that they came to, to take you out? Like, what were the alleged circumstances under which they actually were saying that they were there?
Oh, they was there because they wanted to take my mother's home. They wanted to take my mother's home. They wanted to put us out in the street. Could care less if we had anywhere to go. They did not care, and they stated that.
So, how, how did it get to the point where, these individuals felt as though that they had a right to come and evict you from your home?
Well, it all started because allegedly they're trying to say that they gave my mother some money, which they did not. Because how can you give somebody money and nobody's able to even see it or produce it? And so therefore they felt as though they was entitled to take her home from her.
Okay, so because we're talking about unlawful foreclosures that are pervasively happening in the city of Philadelphia. This is not, an isolated event. Okay, I have been involved with this situation from the very beginning, and since since there are some details, that the audience definitely needs to hear. Since this is basically just the result of what has happened or what began, before 2016, when
Right.
exactly. So why don't you tell us a little bit about like how this all began? Yeah, why don't you do that?
How it all began? It's like so many different things that take place with elders being taken advantage of, and I have witnessed coming in to visit my mother and her not being in her own home, but a whole group of Caucasians, white people, white men specifically, were in her home. And when I walk in and I say, well, where's my mother at? They tell me she's at the bank getting us money.
Okay, so what do you mean that you went to her home and there were men at her house, but she wasn't even there? And when did this happen?
This happened all the way back like in 2014.
Okay.
Yes.
So back in 2014, this is 2021. Um you went to your mother, my grandmother's house, and when you walked in, there were some Caucasian white people, okay, who were in her home, and she was not even there.
She was not there.
She was not there. Okay, so what happened? What did they say?
They said that she went to the bank to get them some money.
Okay, and so what was your response?
I told them that they needed to get out of my mother's home before I called the police, because it's getting ready to be a problem. It's getting ready to be a serious situation. And at that time, they just got their stuff and they left.
Okay. Now, these individuals who were in her home, um, did they provide you with any type of identification? Did they identify themselves in any type of way? Do you know, like, who were they?
These are people that are just preying upon senior citizens, and they don't just do it once. What I found out as time was going on is that what they do is they send different people to the house, and they say that they're going to clean your chimneys and things of that nature, and they collect money. Like today, they might collect $100 from you, but then maybe a week or two after that, they send another person and they do the same thing. They collect maybe another $100 from you or $50 from you. You know, they're taking from the senior citizens and claiming that they're cleaning. They're counting on them not to remember that they did this. So they're taking advantage.
Okay.
You know, and just taking money from them like every other week, maybe once a week. You know, they continuously do this, and they call, you know, acting like they know you. Oh, hi, how are you doing, May? How you doing today? Yeah, I want to come by and, you know, look at your chimney. You know, we came last year. No, but when they're coming last year, they came like maybe like 24 times in a year because they're constantly taking the money, and they may come more than that.
So in 2014, when you arrived at grandma's house, um, you found these individuals in the home, and so what did you do after that? After they left, what did you do?
After they left, I waited for mommy to come home, and when she comes in, she has like $600 or so in her hand. She's walking around with money in her hand.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like, you know, I'm no at that point in time. Once I see these things that's going on, I realize that she needs help. She needs, you know, but she is very stubborn. You know, still even at that point was very stubborn, and it took a whole lot to get her to be able to let me come in and help her.
Okay. Now, when you say it took a whole lot, why don't we talk a little bit about what it is you actually had to do in order to, to be able to step in and to start helping grandma?
Well, in order to, the system wants you to go through the system in order to help your own,
Mm-hmm.
which is totally unfair. So I had to go through the Orphans Court
Mm-hmm.
of Philadelphia in order to help my own mother. This is my biological mother. This is not my, you know, I was not adopted. This is blood, you know, so I had to go through that, you know, and then that I don't even want to get into all that. Anyway,
It's okay. Take your time.
all I'm saying is that it was just like really something to endure, you know, the things that they, you know, expect you to do
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And It's just been very horrific. The whole journey has been very horrific.
Okay, so because I was there assisting you along, the process, advising you as an attorney, and being very familiar with the process. I you know I pretty much gave you advice in terms of like how you could receive some assistance with someone helping you through the orphans court and being able to obtain legal guardianship over grandma.
All right.
Okay, so she was able to obtain legal guardianship, and the final decree was issued in February of 2016.
All right.
Correct?
Correct.
So it was, so just so that we're clear, back in 2014, grandma was actually showing signs of that her mental faculties were deteriorating.
Correct.
And this is very relevant to what is happening to senior citizens, and also to what actually led up to the events that occurred on October 6, 2021, because we are dealing with a fraudulent mortgage situation. Okay, and the individual, in 2016, when my mother was able to, when she received the decree that she was the legal guardian, she then steps in, and that's when she finds out that, my grandmother had been scammed, by so many white people, okay, because it's nothing but Caucasoids, white people who are running these scams. At least in this particular situation, it was white people in the house when my grandmother's not there, white people calling her phone and still trying to elicit, money from her, just taking advantage of not just the elderly, but the indigenous elderly. Okay, and so this was a very serious circumstance. But okay, so we move to the fraudulent mortgage, because this is what is leading up to the city and other individuals such as the Philadelphia Sheriff's Department and their tactical team coming at us as if we were terrorists at the Asset 1361 South 46th Street, because of circumstances that wherein an elderly individual was taken advantage of. Okay, so continue. So what happened in 2016 as you were reviewing a lot of grandmom's finances?
Well, what I found out also is that not only were these fraudulent people coming to her house collecting money from hand to hand, like her giving them money. I also found out that they was taking out loans in her name and then sending it to her or bringing it to her and wanting her to just, all she had to do was sign her signature. And I am so like 100% sure that she had done that before, just signed, and then that they took out loans and it was for them. Like when I caught them with the $10,000 loan, I immediately called the people and told them no. I said, this is not her that's trying to get this loan. These are these men that was in, my mother's home.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that signed her up for, and I'm quite sure that the loan people already knew, because they all in this scam together. Because how would you even go ahead and get a loan in her name? They're all in cahoots together. That's all I have to say. People have to really, really be very, very careful. You have to be very, extremely careful, because they have all kinds of scams and gimmicks going on out here. It makes no sense, the things that they're doing to our people.
So